Hello YouTube, this is Thompson 0737 bringing you another video, another 1/400 scale airport update for the Spanish Mediterranean model airport. Probably one of the busiest updates we've done so far, and like I said in previous updates, this kind of period is probably my most favoured in terms of probably the aspect of a lot of TUI sort of related airlines and movements, and also general aircraft and airlines I'm familiar with from previous holidays I've been on abroad, overseas, certainly in Mallorca itself. So yeah, this is quite a big update to get through quite a few models, and is based on the year of 2006. So obviously the next update will be 2007. I just want to point out though, hopefully the updates do kind of stick to a similar schedule, but I'm still waiting for my camera to come back from having its sensor cleaned from Jessup, so hopefully that will be sent back to me soon enough, and once I can do it, I can take pictures of the models, and then we can start doing the other update. Until then, I'm going to have to leave all the models where they are until I can take the pictures that I want to. So, yeah, unfortunately, if it doesn't arrive soon, like within the next week or so, the next update may be sort of pushed back a little bit, maybe a few days, if that. But just letting you know in this video in case you wonder, what's happening. So as always, we'll get into the update. We are starting from a little bit of a different angle, just to try and get the best angles for the aircraft and sort of liveries, to see what they're like and stuff like that, and general showcase of movements as well. So we'll start off on the far side like we normally do. So unfortunately, tail is slightly in the way there of the Condor, but we've got the Air Berlin A320 just sitting behind that. Registration DABDA. This is operating a service from and to Dusseldorf. Air Berlin obviously will become a massive, well, I say a massive, I mean significant airline in coming updates as we progress. And in relation to that, I will be looking to do fleet updates as well. So having aircraft of the same airline, obviously different registrations where possible, but there may also be airlines that will maybe utilise duplicate aircraft that may feature obviously the same registration. Again, just for the fleet build purpose. But anyway. Next up we have Condor 767-300 DABUB, and this is operating a flight from Munich, which will also return back to Munich as well. This aircraft did actually used to have Thomas Cook titles, and I think it was 2005-2006 time changed to Condor towards the front. But as you can see, it does have the Thomas Cook logo on the tail. If we zoom out slightly here, some British Airlines here, just sort of position the camera a bit better. Got the Jet2 737-300 on stand there, registration GCLA. This is operating a flight from and to Newcastle. So this is yet again another custom, one I found on eBay quite some time ago as well. It's a Dragon Wings donor, so yeah, pretty cheap kind of mould to use, but the overall livery is not too bad at all, in all fairness. Quite a nice outcome. I think for the colour itself, the silver look, whoever did it has done a pretty decent job. Next out we have a Thomson Fly 757-200 registration GBYAI. This is the NG 757. This is operating a service from Glasgow. I'm not really sure we've had many Glasgow routes, to be fair, but yeah, I thought I'd throw that in. Next up we have this Hapag Fly 737-800. You're probably thinking this is the NG version maybe, but this is actually a custom, and it's actually registration DAHFF, which is the Gemini Jets Hapag-Lloyd registration, which obviously was a donor. This is a complete one-off. This was actually a request by myself to someone, and it was a complete one-off. I saw some of his, but it was through someone else actually who I contacted, and he knew someone who could do custom work, and unfortunately I have lost the contact, but even at the time, I know for a fact he said, look, this is going to be a one-off, happy to do it, but it's not going to be a regular thing. So I was very grateful. This is probably by far one of the best customs I do have, and I'm very grateful to whoever did it. And like I say, for to be part of the TUI fleet with the TUI logo, Hapag-Fly, very nice. And I'm also glad NG did one, because also it's a different registration. So I will be looking to do an update featuring both. It would be pretty neat to include both of them in a single update, just to show you guys maybe the similarities. I think maybe the NG might be a little bit lighter, maybe, compared to this one, but I don't think you'll see much difference, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's very neat. In fact, what I'll do, quality I'm not sure, but yeah, just zoom in slightly, just show you that a bit better. But honestly, very neat model, with the fly.com titles there at the front. And then pushing back, we have this EasyJet A319 GEZEJ. So this is just pushing back next to the stand, from the stand next to the Hapag-Fly. This is heading out to London Gatwick. And then what we'll do, we'll pan around onto the remote stands now. So I do apologise about the lighting on this one. Hopefully that's focused pretty well. You might not be able to see the colours too well, but this is an Lansoyuz 154 registration RA85740, and this is doing a service from Moscow, Nukovo. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think the V might be silent. If it isn't, then I do apologise, but yeah, that's probably where that was their hub. So I thought, we'll just operate that from there in this update. Very interesting colour scheme, I have to say. Not awfully familiar with these, although I do have some footage from Manchester 2006. Sorry, not 2006, Manchester 2008, with the football flights for the Euros. Sorry, not the Euros, the UEFA Cup final between Rangers and Zenit St. Petersburg. And these were quite prominent. I think it's quite at least one of them, but I think there's a few that made a visit. So yeah, another interesting Tupolev 154 aircraft. Taxiing out, we have this Iberia A321. This is registration ECJEJ. This is heading out to Madrid, which is where it came in from as well. On these remote stands, a couple of A320s. So we've got the Iberworld A320 registration ECIMU, and this has actually done a charter service from Bournemouth in the UK. Something a little bit different there. Next up, positioned on stand, we have the ArcFly A320, which is like in a hybrid scheme. Registration ECJRU, and this is doing a service from and to Amsterdam. And then taxiing in, we have the Niki A320 registration OELEA. This is operating a service from Vienna. This is just taxiing in, about to position on stand next to the ArcFly. This is the Herpa version Niki A320. I know Aero Classics recently did the same registration, which is very unfortunate, but I do think Herpa have got the colours a bit better than Aero Classics. The Aero Classics mould perhaps is probably better, maybe, but the actual colour scheme, I think Herpa have probably got it best. Again, it's one of them colour schemes that might vary depending on lighting. But I think generally, you know, if I just zoom in on that, you get the idea. Again, lighting from the windows not too great. It's the angle of the aircraft. I mean, I could film from that side, but it's the angle of the aircraft. I'm just trying to get like the actual colour schemes in as best as I can, really. Then I'll stand further down. We have this Transavia 737-700 registration PHXRV. This is also doing a run from Amsterdam and back out to Amsterdam as well. This livery, I have to say, I'm most familiar with. I don't mind the newer livery of Transavia or even the previous liveries they've had. But this one for me is the one I'm most familiar with. And I think the first time I sort of come across this airline was when we went to Ibiza, like years and years ago, before it kind of, well, it's always been kind of like a party island, but we went to like the quiet area, pretty much near the airport, and we had aircraft flying over us constantly all day. I remember seeing the tail logo. I had no idea back then which airline it was, and like I think a year, maybe when I came home, or like a year later, I realised it has to be Transavia. And visually seeing it now, it does make sense that it would have been that airline. And it's nice to have a 737-700 instead of probably in what would normally maybe be a 737-800. Yeah, because don't really have many 700s in my collection, to be fair, so it's nice to have that. Taxi now, we have this white A310. This is actually doing a charter from Lisbon and heading out somewhere else. Actually unknown exactly what it's actually operating. But as you can imagine, this kind of style airport, you'll probably see a lot of charter stuff. And then next out we have yet again another charter service in this Corsair 747-400 registration FHSEX. This is coming from Paris Orly, and again is doing another charter service on behalf of someone else. Again, that is currently unknown as to the in-depth information of that. But again, still worth including. And this is what I mean. We've got like, well, in this update we've got 4 TUI livery kind of aircraft. We've got obviously the Corsair 747 in shot, the ArcFly A320 in like a hybrid scheme, Hapag-Fly 737-800, and then the Thompson Fly 757-200 as well. And this is what I mean. This is my kind of period that I love most, with all these just pure, well, I'll say pure blue. Obviously most of them do have like white underbellies, but you know, the nice sky blue, I'd say, livery with the TUI logo, the red, the white. I think the colour coding of that is absolutely fantastic. It does look the part, and I think the colours just go so well. So yeah, very nice and good. I will just say I do have the big board. This is the Socatic version, which is like, I think, part of like Gemini Jets kind of releasing, I think. But I do also have the Big Bird 400, but they did a terrible job with the colour, and it's a very, very dark blue. And if I'm honest, it doesn't look great. So I'm not going to feature that one because I just don't like it, if I'm honest. I've got it in my collection for the purpose it is quite kind of rare. But it's not as good looking as this one. And that's the reason I'm not going to bother including it, because I don't really like the way it looks, unfortunately. And like I say, the contrast of blue they've done on that is just, it doesn't match any other TUI aircraft, so it just doesn't look right. And that pretty much, yeah, on that bombshell, as Jeremy Clarkson might say, that's it for this update. not much else to say. Like I say, I'm waiting for my camera to come back, so hopefully it won't affect the next update. Obviously next week or next Friday, hopefully. I know it's being filmed on Saturday, but hopefully we'll stick to the schedule. And yeah, in the meantime, you know, of course, again, if anybody wants to comment on the video, highly appreciated. And all likes are appreciated as well. And anybody new to the channel, if you want to subscribe, please do. And yeah, like I say, any queries, anything about anything on this update, by all means ask. And again, if you follow me on other media pages, you will have to stay tuned for the pictures and stuff like that. So until my camera comes back. But yeah, in the meantime, not much else to say, I don't think. So yeah, until next time, see you in the next video.